Greetings, everyone. This is Rabbi Aaron Box, Temple Beth Shalom in Ocala, Florida, back for my podcast for this week. Lots of things on my mind. Obviously, last weekend was very difficult for the entire Jewish community worldwide when it was found that six more hostages were killed and literally killed within days of being found by or being rescued by the IDF. Of course, Hirsch, being an American, is one of them, and there were five others. It wasn't just Hirsch, obviously, but this was a traumatic, a terrible, terrible event that occurred in the life of not just the Jewish world, but the whole world, really. Hostages being taken to begin with is horrendous, and then just being killed for the sake of being killed is just. My heart goes out to all of those who knew Hirsch or anyone in his family. Words cannot express how I feel, how we all feel in this difficult time. Had a wonderful visit with our daughter, Carly, who was with us in Orlando for the weekend. It was the first time we'd seen her in a few weeks since being at college. On the way home, we dropped her off at the train station in Orlando, and we were driving back, and Bacha had, well, I guess, an anxiety attack, a breakdown, hyperventilating. It it was an emotional release that she had not had since Carly went to college, and um, it was a little bit scary, I'm sure, for her. But uh, when it passed, and she was able to acknowledge that it was her need to let go of that stress of everything that's going on in our world, but also more than anything else, having our daughter go off to college was certainly a big part of that. I was teaching a Torah study yesterday, and we were talking about this week's Haftarah, which is from the book of Isaiah. It's for Parshat Shoftim. It's from the book of Isaiah, and there's a couple of times where Isaiah, who is often a bearer of horrendous news or horrific news, says to the Jewish people, arise, arise, get up and do something. Your world is in calamity, but now it's time to get up and do something. And it was in the conversation with the Torah study class, we were talking about what does it mean to get up and do something, and who is it that decides what it is we get up and do, and how do we know when we've done enough? And there were lots of comments that made, things like, we just have to be, we have to look to the hope, we have to hope for the future and look to the future, and recognize that even if it's a small step forward, it's doing something. Even if we don't understand or are able to relate to exactly what's going on, but we got to get up and do something. And um, I was drawn to um, the funeral of Hirsch, and his dad got up and said, Od lo avda tikvatenu. We cannot lose our hope. This is a man who has lived through in a kind of hell that nobody can experience, that nobody can relate to unless you've lost a child. And yet he got up at his son's funeral, and everything else he said all of that, and then he said, Od lo avda tikvatenu, and we cannot lose our hope. We cannot lose the hope that we have. And it's I was thinking about his words, and I have colleagues who are doing various different things to to commemorate, to remember, to memorialize those that were killed on October 7th, and all of these colleagues that are doing different writings, poetry, and prayers in honor and in memory. And you know, you take Isaiah's words of "get up and do," what I asked the Torah site class was, it's not get up and do a major thing. It can be, but it doesn't have to be, because at the end of the day, if you get up and do some major thing every single time there's something bad in your life, how do you determine when it is time to stop? When do we say to God, Dayenu, we've had enough? And you know, my whole thought process on what's going on right now in the world is, I want to keep the situation with the hostages, the situation in the Middle East, especially in Israel. I want to keep that front and foremost on the brains of my congregants, and I want to read prayers and poetry and listen to songs that stir our hearts to get up and do something, whether it's to pay more attention, to be kinder to somebody else, to get up and support someone who is less fortunate than we are. These are all the things that we can do and we should do. But right now we need to focus on our hope and moving forward, and not losing sight of why we do the things that we do. Isaiah didn't say get up and finish the world, make all the changes that have to be made. No, Isaiah said get up and do something and make a positive change, a positive a step in the right direction, something that can help us be different, help us be further along, help us get to a different place than we are right now, a perhaps a better place than we're in right now. These are all possible things that we can do. We don't have to complete the work of the world, but we have to never stop trying to do something. And that's, I think, the message. It's okay to feel completely overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed a lot these days, and we have to figure out ways to handle or work within our stress levels to move on to do something that focuses on ways to help us become less stressed. It's not going to get rid of the stress. The stress is going to be there. But we have to find ways to alleviate that stress, and whatever that means. Whether it's going for a run or going on a trip with your family, or writing something if you're able to, or if you're a painter or any kind of artist, doing something that is in your realm, whatever art you are an artist of, whatever art form you are an artist of, but getting up and doing something. Don't become complacent. Don't allow yourself to be completely overwhelmed that you just can't do anything. Don't say, I just can't right now. Take a deep breath. Take some time if you need to. Take a breath, take a rest, a breath and a rest, but get up and do. That's what you need to do. That's how we move forward. Not losing hope, but doing something different, doing something that helps us to get to a better place, even in our most overwhelming of times and moments, which some of us may be experiencing right now. We are in the month of Elul now, as we get ready for the High Holy Days. This is a perfect time to reflect and refresh so that we can move forward in the new year and hopefully not make the same mistakes we made this year. Shabbat Shalom.